Hello everyone, it's me again, the Southern African World Bicycle Rider. Today I'm reporting to you from South Australia in the rural city of Adelaide, home to the Adelaide Oval, and my fourth test cricket ground as part of my bicycle journey where I'm cycling between the test cricket grounds in Australia. With me, guys, is I've got Callum Young here from South Australia. Callum, pleasure to meet you, mate. Thanks so much for your time. I really appreciate a few minutes you're giving me, mate. Wonderful to be here. Guys, the Adelaide Oval, the test cricket ground here in Adelaide, is unlike Victoria. It's not a boundary throw away from the headquarters of South Australia Cricket. It's quite a distance away. But also what's happening at the Adelaide Oval is something we need to chat about straight up, I think. Guys, there are cranes there, you won't believe what's going on. So let's learn a little bit more about what's happening there. Callum, can you just tell us, I went there to get the pictures with me and my bike at the stadium, you know, loaded up with a bicycle. I get a picture at the test cricket ground and it's under construction. What's going down there?
Yeah, so there's a massive redevelopment at the moment with Adelaide Oval. Essentially a couple of years ago the government granted a $535 million redevelopment. So essentially the Oval over the past 18 months has been bashed down as we know it, and they're building two new stands on the southern end and on the eastern wing, and essentially the capacity for Adelaide Oval will be up to just over 50,000. It will become one of the elite sporting venues not only in Australia but in the world, so it's going to be an incredible place for people to go and watch cricket and both Australian rules football, which will be the first time that they've played it there. So great for the city of Adelaide. The whole Adelaide Oval precinct will come to life, so to speak, and that's due for completion in March 2014.
Oh, wonderful, mate. There you go, guys. The Adelaide Oval entering a new era. Wonderful. Tell us something as well, Callum. Will that be home to the local domestic teams? I know that we've spoke previously about the 2020 version of the game here in Australia, the Big Bash. And Adelaide, I know, has, I think it's one team, is that right? Or do you have two sides here?
Correct. So essentially with the new Big Bash League format, we have the Adelaide Strikers.
Yes.
So they're now city-based teams or clubs, and we wear blue,
yes,
as compared to the Redbacks who compete in the one-day and four-day competitions. So
okay,
that's our traditional South Australian cricket side.
Oh, thanks for that, mate. Well, there we go. So the Adelaide Strikers are your 2020 Bash team. And then the Redbacks are your side that plays in the one-day version of the game.
Correct.
And the four-day version of the game, the state championship. They're known as the Redbacks.
Yes, that's right.
Oh, wonderful, mate. And just speaking about that, guys, I learned when I came into Adelaide and the Adelaide Oval that one of our fellow countrymen, Johan Botha, is actually the captain of the South Australian team. And as we know, Johan was a wonderful 2020 player with the Proteas. Can you just fill us in about how long Johan's been here and what's been happening with regards to him coming into South Australia cricket and becoming the captain of the side, and what he's looking at down the line?
Yeah, of course. So I guess it all started in the first instalment of the new KFC T20 Big Bash League. Johan came on board as one of our two international players.
Yes.
Spent probably half the season with the Adelaide Strikers in their first year.
Yes.
And then during the next off-season, we approached him to take up a leadership role as captain of
yes,
the Redback side, so both the one-day and the four-day, and the captain of the Adelaide Strikers. And so he made the move over, brought his family over,
yes,
and it's been a fantastic move for him and,
yes,
and for us. I think the leadership that he's brought and his experience to what is a pretty young side at the
yes,
moment in the Redbacks.
Yes.
We had a fantastic Shield season. We only missed out on the final really by one game, and increased. The previous year we had no wins. We went from 4 wins. So his experience, his leadership that he's brought both on and off the field, I think has had a huge effect on the group.
Yes.
Johan, the person, he's a quality person,
yes,
as you would know. So it's been a great move for South Australian cricket, and I think Johan's really enjoyed the experience as well.
Yeah. Oh, wonderful, guys. Nice to see South African players making their mark all over the world. With that in mind, can you give us a little bit of an insight into some of South Australia's greatest cricketers. I'm not too aware. If you could educate me on maybe one or two of South Australia's greatest cricketers.
Well, I guess over history we've had a number. I guess some of the more famous ones, the Chappell brothers would spring to mind.
Okay.
They're both local South Australians, and two of probably Australia's greatest cricketers over time. So I think they're two of the obvious ones.
Yes.
The current Australian coach Darren Lehmann, one of the most prolific scorers in Shield cricket, and obviously played Test and one-day cricket for Australia. He's a local hero. Jason Gillespie is another recent one as well.
Yes.
Look, I could probably go on with a number of them, but there's some of the ones that spring to mind first.
Oh, wonderful, mate.
Of Australia.
Thanks for that. Guys, there we go. We definitely know Darren Lehmann, the new coach of the Australian cricket side, playing in the Ashes over in England at the moment, having a bit of a tough time, but he's with one more test to go. He's put out an ultimatum to some of those players. They need to realise that they've got to start to play for that shirt, and realise what when they go out onto that field, that they need to be competitive and up their game to a standard that Australian cricket expects. And as well as Gillespie, I remember him. He's the tall, fast bowler. Am I right?
Correct.
Yeah,
yes.
I remember him as well. I'm sure a lot of our viewers will know of him too. And with that in mind, let me also ask you, mate. Can you just give us, to close off? Can you just give us who would you consider to be your greatest ever player, both from the historically speaking and in your time, as it were?
From South Australia?
Just in general, in the game of cricket.
Growing up, I guess because he was a local boy at the time, Greg Blewett was always a hero of mine. He played 40 odd tests for Australia, and he was the local Adelaide hero. So I grew up kind of following him, I think, as a young boy growing up. I guess the other two that spring to mind, one is Darren Gough, who used to be the opening bowler for England. I just loved his attitude, the way he went about it.
Yes.
And the other one was Brian Lara. I think, like everyone used to watch, love him.
Yes.
And I watched Brian Lara make 200 Adelaide over one day. So I think those three would probably be the three that spring to mind.
Yes. Oh, what a wonderful memory. We all know Brian Lara. What an awesome legend of the game. And
guys,
once again, thank you, Callum.
Not a problem.
Really appreciate it, mate. And guys, as I said before, it's my fourth stop now, my fourth Test cricket ground. Next will be the WACA over in Perth. I've got the big ride now across Australia from Adelaide to Perth, where I'll catch up with you at the WACA and the home of Western Australian cricket. Until then, ciao for now. Thanks so much. Thanks again, Callum.